Hello all, I'm going to show you how I've improved in Peak, and I believe that the best way is to show my game with details, what I do and why. So in the next few minutes I will show you just that. Keep watching. So in this game, very important thing is that there is no time limit, which makes it a little different from other games. So you need to remember about few things. At first, take your time. This game can take very long. For example, mine took around 20 minutes. And prepare your mind, because you will need to use every mnemonic technique that you know. Maybe not on first levels, but when you go to Grandmaster or Legend, those techniques will be necessary. So let's go into the game. In first round I got 13 cities which have only codes and no city names. My tactic here is to divide all cities into similar groups. So for example, I've noticed that there are 3 Ds, so I grouped them in group DCX. D is the first letter of every city and CEX are second letters from those cities. Next I did the same with cities on M and got Medu. And then the same with C and I got CLD. And now there are only 5 cities left that are not connected at all, so I use them to create one word that I will remember, and for me it was Grevardiash, which doesn't mean anything, but is easy for me to remember because it sounds nice. Also, you may notice that I have added A in the middle of the word. That's just because it will be easier to pronounce for me. And now when I'm doing second mission, I'm repeating that word in my mind. It's good to know that always on the same level there will be the same amount of cities to select. So for example on Legend it will be 5. So when I have to make my choice, I decode the word that I remembered, Grevadiash, and I divide it into smaller pieces, and then I check if this piece is on the list. So at the beginning I check GR, then I check EW, then RD, then IA, and then SZ. As you see, there is SZX, so I select it, and then I try the same with other words that I've remembered. So at the beginning I go with CLD and I select CLE, then I go with DCX and I select DCA and DEN, and then I just check for Medu, and after that I submit and everything is great. In the next group, process is the same. There is not many the same letters, so this time I try to create words from cities, and I get Kulame, which doesn't mean anything but is nice to say. Then that, MFC. MFC is fine because it could mean something like Manchester Football Club if somebody is into soccer. And then I create Sebosh. It's because it's similar to Grevadiash. It's easy to say for me and sounds nice. And the last word is Pech, and this time I just use first letters because Pech is normal word in my language, so it's very easy to remember. In that case I just try to remember if there are any vowels as second letters, and there have only been one next to H. And again the same process is when I'm solving. I've made here small mistake with DFW, but then I double checked it with my det word. it didn't work, so I unselected. Then I did the same mistake with SHA, which sounds similar to sh in my language, but again, after double checking, I unselected and again 5 on 5. On third, the same process again. At the beginning I connected two pairs into one word, as it sounds nice, so I had the mus and lach and created muslach. Then I tried to connect HHD in a meaningful way, so I've imagined HDD disk but different and got HHD, and from second letters I've created word token when I added vowels to it, so I remembered different HDD token. Next I've created word swatki, as it's very similar to actual Polish word, so it would be easy to remember for me. And I just remembered that there are only vowels on the last two letters of this word. And I was left with BWI, which I've decided to remember as black and white, which was very good game some time ago. And as we are already in computer stuff with HDD, I decided that this will be easier to remember. And again, there was no problem with guessing correct cities. In the last game, I've created Isaac, Hook, BBC CD, and I imagine that this CD is black and white. And from the rest, I've created person, Dr. De Miko Sila. But as it appeared, on the final list there was two cities, MCO and MCI, that worked with our created story. So I had to choose one of them, and this time I was wrong. Which may show that my technique is not flawless. Anyway, I still think that I got a very good result, and I hope that this video could help someone to improve in baggage claim. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video about different game.